Over at United Republic looking to lock the revolving door in Washington, D.C., where politicians leave, and then they get a bunch of money from the guy. You know how they go to the coal people, they go to the oil people, you know how it works. Anyway, United Republic has sent letters to all 36 retiring members of Congress saying to them, you must fully disclose on your websites which private interest firms you are currently negotiating with for your next jobs. There is now a disclosure law currently on the books that actually exists, but as the folks at United Republic continue to point out, that law is utterly useless because it is so riddled with loopholes that it creates the ambiance of disclosure without actually having to comply with it. And with us now, one of the muckrakers at United Republic, Lee Fang, senior investigator, and a man who I've already been learning plenty from your work, Lee. It's a pleasure to meet you by way of TV. Give us a couple of horror stories here. Just how bad is the revolving door, and we can talk about what you guys can do about it.
Well, thanks, Dylan. We're focusing on this issue that we're becoming increasingly concerned with, this what we're calling backdoor bribery, this legalized form of bribery where a lawmaker cuts a special deal or writes a law that benefits a private interest and then goes and retires from Congress and works for that private interest, often with a multi-million-dollar salary. This affects both the left and the right. So really, if you want to win mega millions, become a congressman and then go to K Street.
And give it, who's complied with the United Republic demand or challenge to disclose of those who are retiring?
Well, Congressman Dale Kildee from Michigan has said that he'll disclose on his website if he negotiates for a job in the private sector. Brad Miller from North Carolina, but pretty much everyone else has rejected us or not responded. Congressman Heath Shuler, also from North Carolina, is openly negotiating for a job on K Street, even while he's positioning himself to be a major player in tax reform debates this year, and he's retiring, so he could go to K Street and get a multi-million-dollar salary. Same with Joe Lieberman. He rejected our offer. Last week, he was just honored by hundreds of corporate lobbyists.
So you got Lieberman is telling you, no way, Jose, I'm going to take the money and I'm not going to tell you. You've got Shuler, who's still working. You've got Miller, and who is the other congressman who complied?
Dale Kildee has complied and said he'll negotiate. But, pretty much everyone else has rejected us. Congresswoman Jean Schmidt, who's being forced into retirement, ran away from us when we asked, so we're not expecting a response from her.
As I'm looking at Barney Frank here, he's a pretty good guy, right? He's a big liberal, cares about the people, cares about the country, has good rhetoric. He would obviously agree to this, right?
Well, one would hope so, but I saw in Politico the other day, some of the biggest bank lobbying firms are recruiting Barney Frank to be their lobbyist. At the same time, we asked him to comply with this very simple disclosure request, and he said no.
Yeah. Interesting, because I remember during the bank reform debate when the Democrats claimed to be working to reform the banks, that was Barney Frank who was one of the ones who was really aggressive in making sure that the most profitable parts of banking, like that credit default swap market and all that stuff, didn't get reformed, wasn't put into public. I love watching the Democrats pretend to care about these things and then take the money from the banks. At least I feel like the Republicans, they're weasels, they're going to try to weasel you over. But I feel like the Democrats like to make their living by pretending that they care about human beings and then, like Barney Frank, go try to take some bank money on the backside after they pass the big bank reform bill. Is that too cynical on my part, Lee?
No, this really happens on both sides. Let me give you an example. Liberal Congressman Bill Delahunt, he earmarked lots of funds throughout Massachusetts. He retired in 2010. Now he's a lobbyist, and guess who are his clients?
Who?
The same earmark recipients.
Oh,
so this goes on across the board.
Yeah, I'm stunned. The beautiful thing is, if this was Russia or Iran or someplace like that, both of us would be in jail right now, Lee. But fortunately, it's America, and we're delighted that you exist, and we're privileged to have MSNBC in this program. So great work to you, and thanks to the Republic for doing the one thing we can do in this country, which is to bring to the excruciating light of day to put these gentlemen on the crucible of truth in public, such that they at least suffer from the shame of their lack of nobility and pathetic behavior. Lee, a pleasure. If you want to see more of Lee's work, you can check it out over at the Republic Report, which is the blog the folks at United Republic are running.